Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. I'm Daniel and you're watching the news photographer. Since I started this YouTube channel, there are people who sent me messages asking if I know an agency that can help them process their USRN application. And we all know that doing the NCLEX visa screen, license endorsement, and the USRN renewal by yourself can be very frustrating and time consuming. And that is why I reached out with the best agency here in the Philippines to help you guys with your concerns. Everyone, let's welcome the owners of IPASS Processing, Miss Jean and Miss Tricia. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Dan. Good
Hi.
morning.
Hello.
Hello.
Good
Hi, Miss
evening.
Jean.
Good evening from Texas.
And good morning from the Philippines.
Yes. Kamusta kayo?
Okay lang po. We are celebrating Memorial Day tomorrow, and so it's fun. And I think I'm gonna have a day off.
Wow. Nakaka-day off ka na pala ngayon, Miss Gina.
Yes. I should.
Ako naman, ako naman on my end, we just celebrated our 6th year anniversary yesterday, and that was last Saturday as well, together with our Manila and Cebu staff and Davao staff. And I think everyone really enjoyed the celebration. We went to Jensen, actually. We went to SG, Strawberry Guyabano Farm, and everyone really enjoyed the celebration. So, to all of our clients, maraming salamat for your trust on us. It has been 60 years and we continue to find ways to serve you better.
Well, congratulations to IPASS Processing. 6 years.
Yes.
It's been a long time. We've been in business for 6 years, and not really that long, but we have helped a lot of nurses already, like 15,000 more
More.
or less for the nurses that we have helped in their application for NCLEX, endorsement, and Middle East, all the medical professionals in the field.
Yeah.
Amazing. Grabe, 60. That's dami.
More than that number, actually, to be honest. Mm.
Miss Jean, Miss Rich, let's start with what is IPASS Processing and paano siya nagsimula?
Okay, I
Okay.
think Rachel can start that.
Okay. I'm going to show my slide for that. Okay, we started 2016. The four of us are actually nurses. Si Miss Jean, yung eldest sister namin, she's a nurse. And dalawa kami dito sa Pilipinas na sisters ko. Ako and si Miss Jeanette, she's also a nurse. And one of my brother is also a nurse. So the four of us are nurses. And yung isang sister ko is an accountant. Actually, anim kami magkapatid. So we started this company because we are a family of nurses and we have realized that we can help our co-medical professionals based on the experiences that we had. And the reason why IPASS was named IPASS, it's because we want that everybody who's going to be our client will be able to pass their processing and will be able to pass their examination. Kaya siya tinatawag na IPASS. So if you're going to manifest it na ako, papasa ako, you're really going to make it. So also that's because hindi kasi ako pumasadan on my first try sa NCLEX ko. And that was really very frustrating during that time. So na-realize namin ni Miss G na what if we're going to use our combined experiences para makatulong sa ating kapwa na Filipinos and even to other nationalities. So yun yung pinaka-reason kung bakit nasimula or nag-exist etong IPASS. So right now, we already have 3 offices. By God's grace, we have Davao, Cebu, and Manila offices. And we have already not 111 but 140 dedicated team members. And we have 100% approval rate and almost 20,000 of medical professionals. And there are a lot of recruitment agencies partnering with us. And we are really very grateful for that opportunity. And we also have a 5-star rating based on the reviews of our clients. So we couldn't be more grateful for that opportunity talaga. And we can say that This is all really by God's grace na naging ganito at naging successful. And it's really also because of the trust of our clients. And that's the reason why we're always doing our very best para maibigay namin sa kanila kung ano yung dapat namin gawin for the service that they deserve.
I love it. I love that name. And so aside from the US, anong country yung indicator ng IPASS processing?
Miss Jean?
What country are we covering? Aside from US, we also have we help nurses to pass the Middle East exams like AD, DOH, Prometrics, CAR, yeah, in Saudi Arabia. So all those nurses who wants to go in the middle also, we can also assist them in their application.
And aside from the nurses, other medical professionals such as like medtech, redtech, PT, OT, CSSD technician, midwife, we also assist for that for their Middle East exam applications. But apart from USA and the Middle East, we're also providing student visa assistance for the non-medical professionals for Australia naman. So not only for the medical professionals, but we do also have service for the non-medical professionals, but that is for Australia.
Sobrang wide pala ng coverage ng IPASS processing. Ako kasi as a nurse, nakikita ko lang usually yung parang mga nursing topics or nursing related sa company nyo. Pero pati pala ibang medical profession.
Medical professionals.
Pinaprocess nyo. Ang galing. Wow. Okay. And Miss Jean, sa ngayon ba, what is the usual timeline sa pag-process ng NCLEX nowadays? Siguro from the moment na someone avail your services hanggang sa makakuha sila ng ATP hanggang sa makapag-exam, sabihin natin that person is mabilis siyang magbigay ng mga requirements niya. Ganun.
Okay, so we have 3 states that we are highly recommending: Texas, Illinois, and New York. So for Texas Board of Nursing, the processing time is about like 5 to 6 months. So it depends on how fast you comply with the requirements. First step is we do the credential evaluation in CGFNS. So that is the part where there is a delay because the nurse has to submit, or we can assist the nurses to process the PRC and also the schools if they have graduated in Davao, Manila, or Cebu. But the timeline for the credential evaluation in CGFNS is kind of slow because there are a lot of professionals. You know, CGFNS has been processing the all the nurses all over the world. So you can just imagine how many countries in the world, and they are the aside from CGFNS, there is another one, the Joseph Ancilli and Ares and IERF. But usually we use CGFNS because during visa screen, we don't have to submit all the requirements. So there is a delay on that process, especially if there is a problem with the signature because all the authorized signatories all over the world, CGFNS has a list of that. So if it does not jibe with the signature, the one who signed your document and the one who has in their list, there will be an RFA problem. That's what they call a request for assistance. So it will take time for CGFNS even just to send the form to the school, and then when the school does not send it back right away, so there is a delay there. Sometimes we have like 4 to 6 months to 7 months even just for the CGFNS alone. So if there is so if the process is just smooth in that step, then we could probably get you process in like 5 to 6 months time. The same is true with the Illinois Board of Nursing, but with New York Board of Nursing, before like 3 years or 4 years ago, we could get you we could get your approval in New York for like 1 to 2 months, but not right now, because there are a lot of nurses who has processed their NCLEX application through New York Board of Nursing. It will take like 8 to 9 months, and sometimes even for a year, because also uh, the, the New York Board of Nursing has this credential. They are the one who verifies your credentials. So there is a comparative department there in New York Board. So, and also with the whole Lefora, Lefora, we have 145,000 nurses there, and most of them right now are processing for New York Board of Nursing. So that's why the bulk of applications is in New York is just too much that comparative department has a hard time. I hope they will hire more evaluators so that we can get them approved like in 3 or 4 months time.
Okay, so different timeline din talaga.
Yes, yes.
And ito bang top 3 states? Sorry parang hindi ko na narinig. Ito yung top 3 states na ina-apply ng mga Filipino nurses, no, for the NCLEX.
Yes, yes, because this top three states does not need social security number, does not need English test like IELTS or TOEFL. So that's why these are the highly recommended states. And also, these three states will give you an active license. Some of the nurses who apply, like in Florida, Hawaii, Nevada, they could also apply for nurses and they could take the exam without the social, but then their license will not be issued unless they have the social security number. So that's why these three states are the most highly recommended states that they need to choose.
Yeah, parang na-experience namin yun. Kasi ate ko nag-endorse siya sa Arizona, wala pa siyang SSN. So parang ang status is inactive until makapunta siya doon at magkaroon siya.
Yes.
No? Okay. Okay. Okay, so how about what are the things that kailangan i-consider ng mga Filipino nurses sa paghahanap nila sa pagpili nila ng state to apply for the NCLEX?
So the one that you need to take into consideration is that state issues an active license. So there are recruitment agencies who will ask you to get an active license. Like way back 2000 or 10 years ago, 15 years ago, some of the nurses has passed NCLEX through California Board of Nursing, right? Way back before, they don't have social security, they don't need social security number to take the NCLEX. But now, California is asking, you cannot take NCLEX through California Board of Nursing without the social security number. So if you pass NCLEX through California Board and the recruitment agency wants you to have an active license, then all we need to do is to transfer your scores from California to a state where you can get an active license, like Illinois. So that's one of the reasons that you need to take into consideration the state that issues an active license, and also the states that do they require social security number, or do they require English test like Nevada? If you choose Nevada, you can take the you can take the NCLEX you cannot take the NCLEX without the English test, which is the PTE or TOEFL. Arizona also, if you want to take the NCLEX through Arizona, you can take it even without the social, but you have to take the English test because those are the requirements also. And there are also states that requires you to have an experience, like for Minnesota Board of Nursing, if you graduated more than 4 or 5 years ago, you need to have a refresher course and you need to have an English test. So take note of the states that require those. Choose the state that does not require those, because it will just be a smooth process like Texas, Illinois, and New York. They don't need social, they don't need English test. So that's the highly recommended school.
In
All
addition to
right.
that, so Miss Jean, we also have to check if when was the graduation date, because there are states then wherein it will ask you if you graduated within the past 4 years or less than the past 4 years, and then they will require the experience if ever that you have graduated more than the past 4 years. So those are the things that you have to look into.
For Saipan Board of Nursing, it is also an easy state, but then if you graduated more than 10 years ago, you need to have the refresher course through the approved refresher, like there is the list of certificates that you need to take, or you have to pay that 595 something dollars to get that Kaplan refresher course. So yeah, those things needs to be considered too.
And also, if ever that the applicant is outside of the Philippines and the applicant is looking into sitting for the examination in the Philippines, they have to consider what is the length of the application validity. I mean to say, because there are applications wherein it's just valid for 1 year, and also there are applications wherein it's valid for life. So they have to look into that matter as well. When is their target examination date, and versus the length of the validity of the application as well.
Yeah, for New Mexico Board of Nursing, that is also an easy state. But then the application for New Mexico is just valid for 6 months. The fingerprinting is valid for 6 months. So if you start the credential evaluation and you already started it without thinking that the length of stay for the credential evaluation will take time, and you started the application process in New Mexico, and it's more than 6 months already, and you also send the FBI cards, then you have to redo that before you take the exam.
Actually, there are a lot of considerations, and that's the reason why we exist, because we want to make sure that the applicant has a hassle free exam application, and then they don't have to take so much time and researching for these things. Actually, there was one applicant whom I met, that was, I think, 2 years ago. She applied through a certain board where in that board required to have a social security number. Now, she's already done with the credential evaluation, but she didn't know that that board of nursing will require a social security number. So that meant that there was a waste of money in there, because she didn't know that she has to have a social security number. So we have to reroute to another board of nursing so she can proceed with her application. So maraming bagay na pag-iisipan before na mag-a-apply ng NCLEX.
Yes. Like, kanina, may mga ibang application na parang for lifetime. Ano yung mga state na yun?
Mhm.
So the application that is valid for life is the New York board. So if you submitted the application and you're not ready to take the test, that application per se is valid for life. So you will, like, if you were approved today and you want to test like 10 years after, you can do that in New York. But then after 5 years, you have to submit an updated form 1. So yeah, you take that into consideration, that it is valid for life, but you have to send the updated form 1 if you did not or take the NCLEX in 5 years time.
Mm. Pero then I think wala naman siguro kukuha na magti-take pa ng NCLEX after how many years, considering na ngayon the priority date is current, and actually everybody's hurrying because of NGN, which will happen by April 23. So gusto nila in as much as possible, as soon as possible, like within 3 months, 4 months. Miss Rachel, I already want to sit for the examination. Can I be approved within 5 months time or 6 months time? So I don't think na they will like extend their examination time ng ano pa, like more than a year, 2 years, or 3 years. But that's a good advantage though if you want to choose New York Board of Nursing kasi at least hindi masyadong pressured on the end ni nurse.
Um, okay, nandito kasi yung mic eh.
Ah,
Yung ibang state ba, nagre-require pa rin sila ng CGFNS exam? Parang before kasi meron nun eh, sa ibang state bago mag-NCLEX.
yes,
Meron pa rin ba nun, diba?
there are states that needs to have the CGFNS qualifying exam, like the Michigan. Right now, they are still requiring to have the CGFNS qualifying exam before you take the NCLEX. And also, Wisconsin needs a CGFNS qualifying exam. But there is a move in for Michigan Board of Nursing that by July they're going to abolish that one, but it's still in process. So we don't know yet that by July it will be phased out, but right now it's still there. The requirement for CGFNS qualifying exam is still there. So you need to take the CGFNS qualifying exam apart from the NCLEX that you will take after.
Mhm. And if you have and if you need like license endorsement, so and you pass the NCLEX coming from another board of nursing, and you will be deployed in Michigan, still you need to have a CGFNS qualifying exam, even though you already passed the NCLEX.
The requirement for endorsement to Michigan, if you didn't have a license in other state which is active continuously for 5 years, then you need to take the CGFNS exam. But if your license in another state has been issued and it's continued to be active for 5 years time, then you don't need to take the CGFNS qualifying exam to endorse it to Michigan.
Okay, that's the rule now,
Yeah.
or even before.
Even before, even before.
So, hassle pala yun. Sige. How about,
Marami.
let's talk about yung license endorsement. Kakasabi nga lang, Miss Rachel. So, how long usually ang license endorsement? Kunyari, sabihin natin, a nurse is na-approve yung visa niya, lilipat na siya sa state, dapat ba simulan niya na? Kasi nakita ko yung iba, pagdating sa state, dun pa lang sila mag-endorse eh.
There are states that is easy to endorse, like if you pass NCLEX-3 through other board of nursing, like if you have a license in Illinois or New York, and then you want to endorse it to Texas board, because Texas during endorsement doesn't need English test or SSN also, so it's a easier process, and you can endorse that even if you are still outside the country. But then there are states that when you have passed NCLEX in other states and you want to endorse it to Missouri, in example, to Missouri Board of Nursing, because Missouri needs credential evaluation, needs English test, needs social security. That's why when you can start the process of endorsement to Missouri, and you can we can start the process to endorse in Missouri even if you are outside the Philippines, outside the US, but then you cannot get your active license unless you arrive in here and have your social security, and then you have to submit it to the board. So that's the time those states needs for you to arrive here in the US, and then your license will be issued.
So if ever na ang state mo is kailangan ng credential evaluation service and nandito ka pa sa Pilipinas, pwede naman nating simulan yung credential evaluation service. So depende talaga dan kung ano yung Board of Nursing wherein we're going to endorse our license. So there are states na pwede tayo makapagsimula for the other procedures na pwedeng masimulan, but there are those na hindi siya talagang masimulan dahil kailangan nga ng certain something for their requirement. So for those who already passed the NCLEX, I really also encourage you to to inquire as early as now so that you'll be able to know kung ano yung gagawin natin. Because there are clients wherein pa-deploy na sila within 2 months. Pero pwede naman sana tayong nagsimula noon pa. And then, ngayon pa lang sila magsisimula. So pagdating sa US, ang problema is you cannot be able to work in the US if wala kang license, right? So yun yung, it adds more stress, anxiety, pressure doon sa nurse natin. So para maiwasan yun, in as much as possible, inquire na tayo kung ano yung mga dapat gawin.
And how about yung license renewal? Parang yun, gaano katagal usually ang license renewal? And what about the continuing education unit? Parang how would a nurse obtain those? Ano yung mga nire-recommend yung mga TE providers?
Okay, for license renewal, for Texas board, if it is timely renewal, timely means it did not expire. So if your license will expire in 2022 or here this year, so we can renew that one 2 months before the expiry. For NMI Board of Nursing, there are CEUs, we call it continuing education, and we get that from a certain provider like the NetCE or Medscape. So there are certain number of hours that you need to comply. So if the license has not expired, then we only need 30 units. But if it has expired, which we need to reinstate, then we need like 60 units of credential for continuing education. Yeah, and other like in New York Board of Nursing, if you need to renew the one, we need a PIN number. So if you pass NCLEX and it is already like almost 3 years that you need to renew, the New York Board of Nursing will give you a PIN number. So if you don't have that, we need to request for that PIN to be emailed to you.
Oh, MG, I'm so sorry about the connection. Sorry, you were saying?
So I'm saying that there are states that needs continuing education units, and there are certain states that does not require the continuing education units. Like for the Illinois right now, the license renewal is free just for this time because they gave preference, or because of the COVID, the Illinois Board of Nursing is giving it for free. We can renew it for free, but then if you don't have that temporary social security number that we need to input during the renewal, then we have to you have to request that from the IDFPR.
One of the usual questions ng mga nag-message sa akin, sorry from New York sila, and then they want to endorse their license to a compact state. Tinatanong nila, usually daw ba kailangan pa ng CES sa CGFNS kasi nag-CES na sila sa New York. So, paano yun?
So the process for New York Board of Nursing is different before. Before we need to get the credential verification service from CGFNS, right? But then the process right now is different. We have to go directly to New York Board. So if you're licensed in New York and you want to endorse your license to a compact state, bear in mind that your example, Texas is a member of NLC. So if you have a license in New York and you want to endorse it to Texas, if you are outside Texas state, your license will be issued only for single state. It's not gonna be issued as a compact license. So, like, I live here in Texas. My license here is a compact state. But then if you pass NCLEX through Texas Board of Nursing and you are still outside the USA, outside Texas per se, your license is just a single state. If you want to work here in Texas, you have to have a credential evaluation to have that, so you can get that multi-state license. So when you arrive here in the US, you have to live here in Texas, get a driver's license, And then for a multi-state, we have to have a credential evaluation. So if you pass NCLEX through New York board and you endorse it to Texas, the license is just single state. So to get a compact license, we need to have a credential evaluation, social security number, driver's license, and then you submit the one to Texas board. And so that's when only when you get a compact license if you live here in Texas and submit all those requirements.
Thank you, Miss Jean, for educating us. We're down
Ang
to two
daming
questions. Ano yung Miss Rachel?
ang daming info na kailangan i-consider.
Yeah. Wait, for those nurses na currently processing their NCLEX, for you guys, when is the best time to study for the NCLEX? And nakita ko, no, you guys coaches students for their NCLEX. Meron ba kayong parang ideal timeline para mag-start?
Mhm. Can I show my slide for that one, Dan? This one. So apart from the processing service that we do have for the USA exam application, which is the NCLEX, we also have our NCLEX online review program for nurses who want to avail this program. So it's a 1 year unlimited actually, but every cycle there will be 3 months duration for that specific cycle. When I say cycle, it means to say the entire topics that you need to cover from the assessment until the mock examination. So since this is valid for 1 year and limited, therefore you are eligible to attend the class, may it be via the Zoom webinar or if you are not available to attend the class on a scheduled date, then you can easily access our online learning platform 24/7. So our price for this package is 10,000 for the initial payment as an enrollment fee, and then the remaining 10,000 will be paid after a month na. But if you are an existing client of IPASS Processing for the NCLEX application, we provide discount, which means to say you only need to pay 8,500 for the initial payment, and the remaining balance will be paid after a month. So I think sulit pa rin ito siya because this is a 1 year unlimited program. So it's an online class, mean to say may scheduled classes kami, pero if ever na hindi ka makaka-attend ng klase dahil busy ka sa duty mo, then you can have your online learning platform access wherein you have there all the materials that you need for your review program. Actually, a lot of our students are here in the Philippines and also outside of the Philippines. So kahit saan yung location mo, since it's online naman, pwede pa rin. Pwede tayo makaka-attend ng klase. Actually, we already have more than 1,400 of students in our program. And this is because they are receiving good education, quality education based on their feedback. And apart from the klase na we are providing, we also provide them the roadmap to NCLEX, which is really a highly recommended na review material. This is a supplemental material na binibigay namin. And our handouts are downloadable. And definitely, they can study anytime, anywhere. And apart from the discounted na enrollment fee, so on the next steps that you have for your NCLEX application, we also provide discounts. And even more, if student ka ni IPASS Online Review and Mentoring Academy, if you plan of getting UWorld as part of your materials for your preparation, then you get more discount as well. So sa question mo, Dan, getting back to your question, kung kailan sila dapat magsimula doon sa doon sa pagre-review nila. So they can actually start first the processing, and then probably after a month, they can already start reviewing. Pero if gusto nila na they start their processing and they immediately will start their online review, pwede din naman because we are providing 1 year unlimited program naman. So, estimate natin yung processing nila siguro 7 months or 8 months. So once they're already done with their processing, ayun pa rin, meron ka pa rin, eligible ka pa rin for the online review. So sulit na sulit kasi it's 1 year unlimited.
Grabe, I watched your YouTube channel and I saw a lot of success stories, no? Sa, sa online review nyo. Ang galing. Last question lang, no? Para sa mga nagpaplanong mag-avail ng services nyo, what is the first step for them to start the NCLEX with you?
Okay, for them to be able to communicate with us, they can send us a message via our Facebook Messenger. I also have our side here for our contact details. Right, for a moment, this one Dan. Can we put it on screen? Yes. If ever hindi masyadong, I think hindi masyadong visible. So if ever they want to get started with their application, they can easily communicate with us via our Facebook page. That's IPASS Processing. They can also check our website. That's www.ipassprocessing.com. If they want to communicate with us via IG, we also have our IG account. That's IPASS Processing. So the first step that they need to do is to communicate with us. They have to know kung anong gusto nila na Board of Nursing, anong gusto nilang simulan. And we have to check whether this applicant is eligible for that specific state or not. If not, we can advise what would be the best state that they can apply. Now, after that inquiry, we're going to provide them the documents that they need to comply, and they only need to have the scanned documents naman. Hindi namin kailangan yung hard copy of their documents. So, scan lang nila, email it to us to requirements@ipassprocessing.com para ma-check namin, and then we're going to advise them kung ano na yung next step. Another contact detail that we also have is our email. That's inquiry@ipassprocessing.com. They can inquire to us via email as well if gusto nila para malaman nila kung saang Board of Nursing pwede natin simulan yung NCLEX application nila.
Grabe, a lot this morning. And thank you for sharing IPASS processing with us. I appreciate it. And ngayon, I'm sure that the viewers know now how convenient it is to start their USRN application with IPASS processing. Thank you, Ms. Gina.
Oh,
Thank you,
all
Ms.
right.
Rachel.
Oh, thank you, Dan, for the opportunity to talk with you and to. I would like to express our sincerest gratitude and thanks to all our viewers and to all the nurses all over the world who have trusted IPASS Processing.
Thank you very much from all of us in IPASS. Maraming salamat sa pagtitiwala ninyo sa amin. Dahil through the years, dyan kayo sumuporta, nagtiwala at nagdasal para sa amin. So, as we always promise, we have to find ways to improve our service, and we also are continuously finding ways para maibigay namin yung best na service para po sa inyo. And to everyone, maraming salamat po. Dahil kung hindi dahil sa inyo, wala din kami dito. So thank you very much po talaga.